Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Pause the video right now to check out my social media, my radio show, and thatdrummerguy.com. And most of all, enjoy the following presentation.
Hey, this is Alex with Nekrogoblikon.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Oh yeah, no problem, man.
Well, awesome. Well, of course, we're here to talk about the brand new album from Nekrogoblikon, Welcome to Bonkers, which is coming out April 13th through Seek and Strike. I've gotten the chance to be able to check out this album over the last few weeks, and I really love where the band is at right now. It's just such a great, fun record from start to finish. So many great heavy moments, so many great melodic moments, so many great funny moments. I mean, I love everything that the band is about, and it's awesome to be able to talk about it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem. So, how did the writing process begin for the new album?
Well, this time, so the biggest change, the biggest shift on this record was that, especially coming off the last one was extremely collaborative. It was a little more democratic. Everyone kind of had more to say. This one, we kind of, put all the writing in Nikki's hands, our singer, who's actually also the co-founder of the band. So he wrote, I would say, at least 90%, 95% of the record. The process was really kind of, it was him just writing it all, and it was, obviously he'd get feedback from the rest of us, and I would sprinkle in some guitar things here and there, and Skin Thief, for instance, was one that we collaborated on, but the rest was just his vision overall. So it was, I feel like that gave it a lot of character and a lot of more focus than any of our records have had before, and I think that's why it turned out the way it did. And
with that, I mean, obviously with the different writing styles over the years, how did you feel about the writing process this time around?
Honestly, our last record, I love everything we put out, but it's our last record. Just I felt like there was something a little lackluster about it, and I think that's because, and I got to write more on it, but it just, something didn't feel focused. It didn't feel like there was some kind of I'm trying to find the right word. It felt a little more sterile than what we had before, and I think that was because there was just a lack of a distinct theme and voice in this. So even though I wrote less on this record, I'm a lot more proud of it as a record, and my playing on the record was a lot better. So I was really happy to to have Nikki be the one to write the vast majority of it.
Yeah, and that's also a really cool way to look at it as well, where obviously you're getting to play on the record, but you're also getting to see it from the outside perspective too, where it's you also get to be a fan of the band and also get to play on it.
Exactly, and I think that day I'm just a fan, I like playing guitar. But I still had creative say in it. I still, I had, but it was kind of more of it was more from the outside. It was almost more of a producer role, where I kind of, felt like, this part's really strong, let's focus on this kind of thing. But it was a lot less me actual composing. I probably, like I mentioned, wrote a couple things here and there, and that's all I really care to do anyways. I was really stoked on it being Nikki's project, and I felt like he's always been a really gifted writer. It was good finally being able to just showcase that and give him a full record. So I feel like I want to do it this way every time now.
Well, I can definitely say from the fan perspective, I mean, I love the last record as well, but I really love how focused this album is, and just from start to finish, even though it does get into different territory, it just really does have that focus feel from start to finish.
Awesome. I'm glad you feel that way too, because I've lost all objectivity with the record after working on it for so long. But yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah, and that's going to be a great feeling too, knowing that the album's just going to be coming out in a couple weeks now, and now you can just focus on the live aspect of the show rather than worrying so much about the album process.
Definitely, yeah. And the shows have been great. We've been on tour, Wings of Saturn, and a few other awesome bands, and we're playing Austin, Texas tonight. We got Dallas tomorrow, and that's the last date of the tour. So we've been doing two new songs from the record live every night, and they've been going off really well, and so stoked that people are enjoying it so far.
Yeah, and that's such a great tour to be able to be a part of. I mean, being able to tour with Rings of Saturn, right before the album comes out, so people are getting excited about it and wanting to go pick it up. And then, of course, coming up later in the year, being a part of the final Warped Tour as well, being able to show off the album that way and say goodbye to such a great, prestigious tour.
Yeah, that was amazing when that offer came in because I don't think any of us were expecting it, and but yeah, we're really excited to do that, especially because like I love that we're such a sore thumb on that tour, and I mean that in a good way, where we're so unlike everything else that's going on it, so that it's always fun to be that weird odd man out and just offer something completely different. So I always get excited by those situations. So I'm looking forward to doing that on a big scale.
And I always enjoy those too. I mean, from the fan perspective, when it is more of the oddball touring where it's like bands that don't necessarily seem like it would be a good tour package end up being an amazing tour package because you're hearing so much different styles of music that actually does fit together.
Right, and you don't get fatigued over the same sound over and over again. And that's actually been a good thing about this tour we're on right now is all the bands that have been on it they're all really talented bands, but none of them sound like each other. So it doesn't. It's always like you're always getting a fresh sound with every band that comes on.
Yeah, and that's always so important too. I mean, when you do get lumped into the same tours, it can be a little less inspiring every time that you have to deal with that. So when you do end up like on a Warped Tour situation or a tour package like you're currently on right now, I mean, that always makes it fun. That way you're not just fatigued on the same style. Absolutely, yeah. It's
it gets very boring listening to the same metal song over and over again, or any song over and over again.
So, in speaking of that, of course, again, with the album coming out in a couple weeks and all the promotion that you've been able to do for it so far, what has been the reception that you've heard so far when it comes to the album?
So far it's been really positive. I don't know. I've read a couple reviews that have come in, and so already seems to be like the most glowing reviews we've gotten as a band so far. So it's good. I'm stoked on that. We've put out the two songs. We put out the two heaviest songs from the record first, kind of just because we're on this really heavy tour, and also I feel like those songs really are kind of a more like a return to form in some aspects for Nekrogoblikon that we lacked on the last record. So I kind of wanted to it's kind of like the return of Nekrogoblikon, kind of let fans know that we're backtracking a little bit, but then the rest of the record takes on this entirely new direction that we've never been in before. So, and I think now that we kind of given them something they're familiar with and like, now they can dive into the album and be ready for all these completely new directions that we go on it.
Oh, absolutely. And, that was a really smart thing to do, focusing on the heaviest tracks first. I mean, especially when it's someone that's like a little more open-minded and not wanting to hear just the same style. When they hear something like the Magic Spider, for instance, I mean, it's going to throw people for a loop, but I think in a very good way because it's so much more fun to listen to when there's different styles going on. Yeah, totally. And that's, we always try to arrange the record that way too, so it doesn't feel like you're hearing the same song in a row after the last one. And yeah, so then that's great. And I feel like there's a lot of records where you can listen to the whole thing and then you have your focus tracks and then you have songs that sound like they're just B-side versions of the focus tracks, instead of songs that are just trying to do something new. So I mean I feel like this is our least filler record we've ever had. Every song feels really important on this one to me. And in the past there's always been ones that are not bad, but kind of okay, well this was clearly not one of their most inspired tracks, and this one probably came a little later when they just needed a couple more songs kind of thing. And I didn't feel that with any of the songs on this. So I'm excited for people to just sit and listen to the whole thing. Oh yeah, and again, just like from start to finish, I mean, there's a lot of great twists and turns that musically make sense together, and it is important to be able to have the right track order, releasing the right singles, doing the right videos, and obviously, I mean, you guys did that amazingly well, especially with the brand new video with Brandon Small being able to direct that. I mean, it just seems like everything from the production side to the promotion side to everything that you guys did in the studio, everything's firing on all the right cylinders, and it's so cool to see that. Thank you. Yeah, and it's cool to be able to do that as an independent art, independent band, because but we've never really officially been signed to a label or anything. I'm basically the one that handles that side of things. So it's cool to be able to try to emulate what a label would do, but just do it ourselves. So it's been. I think we've been doing it right so far. Hopefully we continue. And speaking of that, I touched a little bit on it with Brandon Small directing the new video that's just been released. How did that all come together to get him involved?
Well, I wanted to do something big for the video on this, and something different from last time. I really the No One Survives video we had was, I wanted to see more stories about John Goblikon, more like kind of emotional, dark stories rather than just kind of like, funny videos like with the We Need a Gimmick video. So like, it was something I was just like, who's going to be someone who just like totally gets this, and it was a complete, and it was a shot in the dark, really. Like I just asked, I was talking about it with our manager, and I was like, well, maybe see if Brendan Small is interested. It was like, that would be amazing. It felt like a complete, pipe dream kind of thing. And it turns out he was interested. And I was like blown away. I was like, okay, let's do that then. We met with him, and he had this really vision that popped into his head right before we met up about it, and I was cracking up the entire time. And I was just like, yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that. So he came up with the whole thing, and he was really focused, and he knew he completely understood the character, which I think a lot of people in those positions where they want to write with us, they don't see the complete picture of it. So that was great. That worked perfect. I'm really stoked on the video and how it turned out.
Yeah, I love it as well. It's easily one of my favorite music videos I've seen in a very long time. I mean, just everything syncing up so perfectly with what the song is about, and of course the band, and being able to show off all these great moments, and of course having his vision along with it as well. I mean, it just seemed to work out in such a perfect way, and it's so cool to see that from the fan perspective.
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and that's definitely, and that was a concept that came before we knew what song we were even going to choose for it. It was just, but once we had the concept, it kind of that was a song that felt like it would most go along with that narrative. So I'm glad that went over well.
And of course, with trying to get things to fit well together, getting into the live setting, how does it feel to be able to incorporate some new songs live into the set?
Oh, it's great. There's some songs that I've literally been playing for 10 years in this band, and they're favorites. So we're gonna keep playing them, and I still love the songs. But it's just everyone gets bored doing the same thing over and over again, basically we talked about before. So it's just having new songs to play is really exciting. It's really, and it's the best thing about it also is that every member now in our live lineup has recorded on this new record. So now everyone feels more pride over it. This is our first record with our new drummer. So he's really stoked to play songs that he actually recorded. Same with our bassist. So there's definitely a kind of a new vibe with it, with the new songs, because we kind of all shared in that process together.
With not having the chance to be able to see this current lineup of the band yet, hopefully that will change pretty soon. How do you feel about the dynamic of the band when it comes into the personal space and the live shows and everything? How do you feel about that?
It's with our current lineup, it's been perfect. Honestly, it's kind of it was. I think we finally found the right lineup where everyone's getting out of this what they want, and there's been no clash of egos or power or any of that kind of stuff. It's been, we all love what we're doing, and we have a common goal together to just put on the best shows possible, and be fun guys on the road with the other bands, and that's what we've been doing. It's been the last two tours of this lineup have been great.
Yeah, and that is so great to hear that from the fan perspective, because it's just like when there's any rough patches or anything that's going on behind the scenes or on the stage, or label issues or whatever the case is, anything that can affect a band, it really can shine through when it comes into the live shows or the recording aspects or whatever that case is. But when you're able to find the right group of musicians to write the right style of music that you want to play, touring with the right bands that you want to tour with, it really makes everything so much more fun, and you're able to put so much more heart and passion in everything.
And actually, we've heard that. I think we've heard that more on this tour than any other tour. It was just everyone's actually it's been mentioned to us, you guys seem to have such great chemistry on stage, and you guys look like you're having the most fun. And it's well, I guess suppose we are now. It's really rare. It's rare to find, especially with every additional member, you add a new variable of whether something may or may not completely gel well together for the whole. But it's been it's been really good.
So, again, with this amazing tour that you're able to be wrapping up pretty soon, and then, of course, focusing the attention on Warp Tour, what's going to be coming up for the rest of the year for Nekrogoblikon?
We're still figuring that out. There's other touring potentials. We're talking about maybe doing Europe, possibly even headlining, depending on depending. We might support again. That's all still being figured out. But I don't think Warp will be our last tour of the year. I definitely have a feeling we'll be doing something in the fall. I just don't know exactly what yet.
Oh yeah, and there's still plenty of time to be able to figure all that out. But before all of that, I mean, wrapping up the Sorbet Rings of Saturn, and then focusing on Warp Tour, and then everything else that can come with that. I'm glad to see that this album is going to be getting that full, proper live promotion that it deserves.
Right, yeah, and it's like you mentioned earlier, we kind of finally lined everything up correctly. Whereas we kind of did things a little half-assedly before. Didn't have a release set up with a tour together with it, and it's like a live and learn thing. I think this time we took our time to make sure we did it right, and I don't think any part of the process for this was rushed. So, it's a lot of it's patience, waiting for the right things to align before just trying to push something out there. But yeah, I think it's helped a lot. I think it's helped to reach more people. The people are excited. So yeah, it's definitely lined up better.
Yeah, and again, I gotta say, just from that fan perspective, and just from the promotion side as well. I mean, it's so great to hear how happy you are with the way everything is going, and just from listening to the album alone, it's great to be able to hear that chemistry that's going on there, and just how happy everyone is currently with everything that's going on, and hopefully that maintains as well. Because when everything is firing on all the right cylinders, especially when you're playing music for a living, I mean, there's no greater feeling than being able to have everything like that.
It's true, yeah. And it's a matter of just making sure that keeps going. It's always maintenance. You're always working at something, and that's and otherwise, and if you weren't, you'd be bored, anyways. So it's it's hard work, but it feels like it's not for nothing, So that it feels like we're finally feeling what we're aiming towards doing. So that's validating.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, getting back into the beginning of the interview where you were saying you weren't doing as much writing for the album, but when it comes into your playing for the album, did you switch anything up when it came to the recording sessions as far as gear or anything like that?
Well, I think working with Jason Sukoff was a big change because he's an incredible guitarist himself. So he actually demanded a lot more out of me as a guitarist than I've been challenged to in the past. So, and a lot of that came with a little more emphasis on expression and playing. Whereas I think in the past I was a little more kind of note for note, like MIDI. Our stuff's written usually in MIDI, so it's not the way it's composed is usually not dictating a way to play it. So a lot of times I was thinking of guitar as kind of like just another keyboard, for instance. But with Jason, he kind of really pushed me to be more expressive with it, bending notes more, doing more expressive vibratos and that kind of thing. And I think that his production style, and he does that for all the instruments too. I think our drummer is incredible, but even then, I think Jason's vision for how drums should be recorded just only helped further with that. So I think having a very strong musician at the helm of it really took it home for us.
Yeah, and that is so cool to hear that too. And that was one little nuance I noticed as well, is there seemed to be a lot more of expression from everyone in the band, being able to push themselves a little bit further when it comes into their own playing. And it's great to see that Jason was at the helm of that.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he pushed me like crazy, and I'm really glad because it's made me a better player, and it sounds so much better. It sounds like I said, I felt like the last record sounded really sterile, and this one doesn't feel that way at all to me. It feels real live. It feels like a real band when you listen to it. So I think that helps a lot. It's like that plus Nicky's compositions. I think that was really the ticket.
Yeah, and again, it's just like this perfect storm of all of these great things happening at once, and just being able to build your name bigger and better, being able to get all of these instances inside the band, outside the band, production, the business side of things, promotion, everything that's going on there. I mean, I'm constantly seeing you guys getting bigger and better throughout all of these different aspects, and it's great to see with that culmination with this new album, where everything from the songwriting to all these great touring opportunities and everything everything that's going to be coming up in the future. It's great to see the constant rise of Nekrogoblikon.
Awesome, thank you, man. Yeah, that's. I'm glad that's how it appears. Sometimes it's hard to when I'm looking from the inside. I don't know how this looks to other people, but that's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And as a fan since the first album, I mean, it's great to see how you guys are constantly being able to improve in such a way, just like constantly building your name up like this. And if this is where you guys are currently at right now, I can't wait to see where things are going to be going in the future.
Me neither, man.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, again, thank you so very much for taking all this time to be able to talk to me while you're out on the road finishing up this tour with Rings of Saturn, being able to talk about the brand new album from Nekrogoblikon, Welcome to Bonkers, which is coming out April 13th through Seek and Strike, being able to talk about all these great nuances that's going on with the band, and, just seeing this rejuvenation of the band, and just constantly being able to improve upon yourself. And I think once everyone gets a chance to be able to check this out on April 13th and see where you guys are at right now, I just imagine things are just going to continue that uphill climb, and just things are just going to constantly keep getting bigger and better with all these great opportunities, more songwriting, and everything else that's going on. It's so cool to see that.
Thanks, man. Thank you, and thanks for inviting me to talk on this, and and thanks for your continued interest in the band. I feel like we covered a lot. Unless you feel like there's anything else that you'd like to know about, but I think I don't feel like I held anything back.